All right, episode number 56 is live. Tom, I started numbering our episodes.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed that, but I went through our YouTube channel and I numbered every single one of our pop culture episodes.
Awesome, dude. You should shorten up that 5 minutes is too long.
Is that too long, do you think?
Yeah,
well, it gives me time to, use the restroom or okay, we'll go back to 2 minutes then. I had a 10-minute ready queued up.
What the attention span of people today, you think?
Well, that's supposed to allow more people to come in. They
and just sit and wait and do nothing.
Okay.
We need a warm-up guy, or at least play a clip of something.
Should we do you have connections to comedians that would warm the audience up before we go live?
We could do that. Otherwise, we could play like Steve's movie trailer the whole time. Do it twice in a row.
Come up with these good ideas after the fact.
You never ask.
Steve Wollett is our guest, filmmaker extraordinaire. I was going through your IMDb, and you've got a lot of producer credits. And I didn't notice that you worked with Sean C. Phillips on his Amityville Karen, which I'm excited to see. That's not out yet, is it?
No, it's not out yet, but it is coming very soon.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward. That's his directorial debut. I'm a big fan of Sean's, and I'm really looking forward to that. That's very cool. Your latest film that you wanted to come on and talk about is Jack B. Nimble. Tell us a little bit about that.
Hold on, before we get to that, we got to start out with his title, right? We got to figure out what that's about.
Tom did some Steve Wollett research. Go ahead, Tom.
The Archduke of Kronstadt. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yes.
And Grand Master of the Esoteric Order of the Phoenix. That's metal as hell sounding. What is that?
So years ago, I was worked as a firefighter, and I rescued some guy, and he turned out to be the King of Kronstadt, which I had never even heard of. It was a country that doesn't even exist anymore. After Hitler came in, they never existed once, and the family fled here to America, and he made me an Archduke and made me the head of a knightly order and told me name it whatever I want, and I named it the Esoteric Order of the Phoenix.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I asked Tom, I said, do we have to call him Archduke? And Tom's like, well, I kind of think we do.
I think we do. He saved the king's life. He is the Archduke.
Well, it's like I said, it's a defunct country, so how much the title actually means.
Yeah, but as long as that king is alive, the king isn't dead. He can crawl back.
Well, actually, he died 3 years ago, but his son is now claiming the title.
He could come back, take Kronstadt back.
Yeah. So Kronstadt, from historical perspective, is the modern day city of Brasov, which is in Romania.
That's cool. And you just the Order of the Phoenix, you Harry Potter fan, or?
Actually, this was before Harry Potter, before I even heard of Harry Potter. And then
then when that book came out,
you're like, come out with the title along the same lines. But I am a Harry Potter fan. I'm such a fan. I even have I don't know if you can see this.
Oh, nice.
A Death Eater tattoo.
Yeah. Nice. A Death Eater tattoo.
Yes.
Wow. I can't believe I never thought of that.
So what are the responsibilities of an Archduke?
I have no idea. Because the country doesn't exist, it's just a title. You know, but I thought it was cool and it sounds cool, and I claim it.
It sounds incredible. Do you sign your name that, like Archduke Stephen?
Well, if a cop pulls you over, you got to be like, "Do you know
diplomatic community? Diplomatic community." I'm an Archduke.
Yeah. Have you not seen Lethal Weapon? You can't arrest me for anything, right?
Well, you know, with titles like this, because we don't have the nobility the way they did back in the day, I can't go around and start my own robber baron. If I could do that and become a robber baron, I might go that route. You know, I think ruling a small little empire, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, there's that company now that sells titles over in Scotland. You can become a lord. You buy like
they wouldn't let me.
They wouldn't let you?
Nope. My bank. For Molly's birthday last year, I wanted to make her a lady for the first time. And my bank shut it down and said, no, this is like from Istanbul or something. We're not processing this. They wouldn't let me buy it.
I never heard that. I never heard that.
I know other people that have it. My bank said no. It's a scam.
How much did you pay for it? Or
it would have been $50. It would have been $50. I don't believe it because they say you get 1 square foot, so a 12-inch by 12-inch, and they plant a tree. And I'm like,
yeah,
but you're selling 1 million. Trees can't grow 1 foot apart.
Well, I don't know if they planted on your plot of land. Like, I've heard it's all bullshit anyway. Like the lord title will never hold up in a court of law if you try to use it or anything. But it's I don't know. It's neat. Like
that's the beauty of America. We can claim any title we want in this country. There was an emperor of America that lived in California for many years.
Wow.
No, nice. Yeah, I signed up. I'm a priest with some.
I'm a reverend.
Internet religion. Yeah, I'm a reverend, so I could call me Father Chris.
Nice. I'm a Dudas priest myself.
Nice.
Oh yes.
I think there's a Star Wars religion too. They're like real Jedi religion. I want to be a Jedi.
Yeah. Well, we have the Jedi Party as a political party here in Pennsylvania.
Jedi Party?
Yep. That's awesome.
I ran into a couple guys that were speaking Klingon one time. There must be a Klingon party.
Yeah, you can actually speak Klingon. That's a real
thing.
I
was in the Star Wars bar in Vegas, and you could buy the dictionary and learn it. And people in there were talking it, and then they gave me some Andorian ale, and I was really.
You were in the Star Wars bar, and the Star Wars bar was selling the Klingon dictionary.
There's a Star Wars bar and a Star Wars bar and gift shop. So you go to the bar, and they give you all the drinks from like the show. Like you can get Klingon blood wine, you can get everything. They serve it to you all fancy.
A Star Wars bar or a Star Trek bar?
Star Trek bar.
Okay. Those they don't mix very well.
No, they don't.
You know what I was talking. You just let me go. What a partner. This guy's just digging himself deeper and you're just watching.
That's what makes it entertaining.
I just lost my nerve.
Yeah.
It's all right. Not everybody knows the difference between Star Wars and Star Trek.
Oh,
that is very true.
Especially if you're just a casual kind of science fiction fan. I don't know why you're on this show if you don't know the difference between Star Wars and Star Trek. You need to watch.
I'm a Lost in Space guy. What can I say?
Which one? The old one or the new one?
No, the old one.
The old one. Okay.
Well, the new one's not that bad. I watched
the
first season of the new one, and it's not terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. It's just different.
Yeah, the movie was pretty bad. The movie that came out.
Oh yeah, I agree with you.
That was pretty bad. But yeah, I don't know. I was never really a big Lost in Space fan back in the day, so I was more of a Star Wars fan myself.
Star Wars would be my thing. I'm more Farscape or Firefly.
Yeah, I never got into those, but I saw the movie Serenity. I love Serenity, and I bought the DVD box set of Firefly, but I haven't watched it yet, and I've had it for 20 years.
You will appreciate the movie a lot more if you watch the series.
Really? Yeah, I've heard that. It's on my list. It's on my bucket list. I'm going to watch it.
On my list too.
Yeah.
Should get together and watch it. Firefly Marathon.
Have a watch party. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Did you watch the Book of Boba Fett?
Yes.
No, I have not.
Yeah.
No.
It's Book of Boba Fett / Mandalorian. I think the last 4 episodes, the Mandalorian came in. He came in to like save the Book of Boba Fett show, but the show didn't need saving. Which the show was good on its own.
How I felt about The Last Jedi. It tried to fix things that just didn't need to be fixed. But I don't know. That's a tangent for a different time, I guess.
Probably, but I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but in the more recent years since Disney has taken over, I have not enjoyed it to the degree that I enjoyed it as a child.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. That's how I feel. Like when I saw The Force Awakens, I loved it. I love The Force Awakens. I didn't care if it was a remake of New Hope. I loved it. It was Star Trek or Star Wars. My God, fuck out of my head,
dude. It's catchy.
It was, it was new Star Wars, and I felt, man, this is amazing. Like, I can't wait to see what happens. They left on that cliffhanger. Luke's on the mountaintop there, and I'm like, I can't wait. 2 more years. Damn, I can't wait. Then The Last Jedi came out. I don't know how many times I rolled my eyes. It was just terrible. And as I was walking out of the theater, I turned to my friend. I said, Rian Johnson will never touch Star Wars again. We will never see anything from him again. This is when they announced his trilogy, and I don't know. That is, I could really get on a tangent for Disney.
Oh, me too. When that chick who had Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, and she basically said, "I'll tell you in the next movie."
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and then,
like, what?
We wait 2 years, and Luke just throws it over his shoulder. I thought, no, thank you.
For me, I wanted to see Flynn become the Jedi. The whole time I kept watching it, thinking we're going to have a stormtrooper become a Jedi. This is going to be so cool. This never happened.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Well, Finn was a great character in the Force Awakens, but then when The Last Jedi came out, they just put him with Rose Tico. Like, the best thing that I liked about The Force Awakens was that relationship between Finn and Rey that worked so well. Those guys were so good together.
Yes.
And they separated them and put him with the most annoying, poorly written character in Rose Tico. Just, yeah. It was just bad. But let's talk about some of Steve's films. Let's get into Steve's films.
Yes.
Because Star Wars gets me heated.
Yeah.
Well, Jack Be Nimble is about old gamers, like Dungeons and Dragons, tabletop gamers, which is what I grew up on. And I was with a bunch of friends one day, and we were drinking, and we were talking about what are we going to be doing when we're 70 and 80 years old. And the idea came up that we'd all be living in a nursing home together, all suffering from various stages of dementia, and we'd become convinced that the doctors were evil. And we'd go on a quest to defeat the great evil in the nursing home. And that's what spawned the movie, that concept. We came up with it. I wrote it in a matter of weeks, and I didn't have an idea what to do with it. I was like, do I sell this? Do I make it myself? My wife had just died recently, so I decided, why not reinvent myself? Why not go and do this entire production on my own? So I put a team together and made it happen. And right in the middle of the pandemic, we filmed it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Well, why don't we play a trailer? Let me pull that up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
If I have to come down here one more time to cater to you old geezers.
I rolled on my side and thought I heard a growl.
This place is a death trap.
This place is a heaven compared to where you're going.
I now know what she's doing.
Where's Mary?
She's in there.
Well, let's go!
She's calling me in when she needs me.
I smell sulfur.
This is crazy.
Oh no, I lost the sound.
Well, that has me impressed.
Yeah, that looks cool.
The fantastic Bai Ling. I've worked with her before. She's amazing.
She is an amazing actress. One of the things that really I found phenomenal with her was she could produce tears instantly, like just like that.
Don't
She
be on
could
my
cry.
side.
I've never seen somebody able to do that.
Wow.
Yeah, she's very generous too. She's very generous with her time. We were filming something and a short film. This was 15 years ago, and she stayed longer and worked pro bono to get her shots in. It was
Very nice.
Yeah, she was perfect.
Yeah, and then Vernon Wells, another phenomenal actor. He doesn't get as much credit as the man should. That man amazes me with his ability.
Yeah, do you have a release date for this?
We don't have distribution yet, so no, it's going to the festivals right now. We've actually won 14 awards in the past 2 weeks at different festivals. So we had a really strong start at the festivals. As soon as we can get distribution signed, I'll have dates. I'm hoping sometime in the summer at the latest.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be excellent. I know a film festival that you could submit it to, the Milwaukee Twisted Dreams Film Festival.
Okay.
Shameless self-plug.
I'll definitely check it out.
That is our festival.
Okay.
New assistant. I'll send you a waiver code.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. I'm hoping to get it also into a number of gaming conventions around the country. Like we're going to be showing it at TotalCon up in right outside Boston. The last weekend in February. That convention is like the best little gaming convention in the country. We're going to go there, play games all weekend, show the movie twice. Anybody who goes to the convention can see it for free.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
When you say gaming convention, you mean like board gaming, like Gen Con kind of convention?
Yeah, kind of like Gen Con. It's tabletop games of every type, though. Board games, role-playing games, you name it.
Yeah, Gen Con used to be here in Milwaukee. That's where it got its start, and then they moved to, or where is it now? Indiana.
They're in Indianapolis now.
I know a lot of people are getting more and more into board games. Molly and I play a lot of board games. We're not advanced yet, but if you got somebody who's just getting into board games, what do you recommend to start? Because it goes way deep.
Well, you have your games that everybody knows, like Monopoly and Sorry and Scrabble. But if you want to start taking people to the next level, I'd be looking at games like Ticket to Ride, which is a game about building railroads.
Yep.
The Wacky Races. You remember the cartoon Wacky Races? That's a great introductory game. 20-minute game. You can learn to play it in 5 minutes. Those would probably be like the two key games that I would use as starting games. Other games that I like out there are Flat Top, which is an old-time war game. But this game requires many, many hours, and it's not for everybody. It's definitely not for beginners.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a friend, Mike, the Mortician, Tom. He hosts board game nights a couple times a month at the funeral home. So that's the perfect place to play some, zombie board games.
Yeah, we play Dead of Night a lot. Usually start people with like Sheriff of Nottingham or Settlers of Catan or something a little.
Catan is a great one. We were talking Star Wars earlier. Star Wars Armada, one of my favorite strategy games.
There you go. Now everybody can get. The harder you get into board games, the more expensive they are. Mm-hmm. So that's why you get a group of friends, because one person can buy it. When you start getting to be like $100, $150 a game there.
Yeah. And if you like nerd trivia, there's a great game called Cube of Death. It's kind of a blend between role playing and trivia. And that's a really fun game. It's designed by actually a guy who plays one of the characters in our movie, Peter Bryant.
Okay. Cool.
There was one Star Wars game that
Epic Duels I love.
Epic Duels, that's it. Yeah, I had to buy that. And this was after they stopped making it. And I paid like $150 for it.
I lost the one dice, the rolling dice. I have everything else.
Now that thing, it's like $500 for that board game. It's crazy.
It's awesome.
It is. It's a fun game. It is definitely.
Oh, I'll tell you what. If you ever lose components for your games, write me. I can hook you up with a company that can custom make it. They'll print you the components that are missing.
Oh wow.
Okay. I just need it's got like orange or blue and red colors. It's just a dice with colors on it.
Yeah, there's a lot of companies out there making custom game components, which is really nice, especially if you're trying to design your own game. Because where do you get the components? Tell them what you need, they make stuff for you, and you can go try to become a game designer yourself.
Wow.
I guess it's got to be a good business though. There's how small those little pieces are, and people lose them all the time.
Yeah, probably. The problem with the game market is there's so many games out there right now that the world is kind of saturated. It's like I like fishing. I can go down to the creek, go fishing every day, right? I was at a game convention a few years ago. They have a board game where it's a fishing tournament. And I felt like I was fishing, except I'm playing a board game. I mean, it was so cool. They got games where, when I was a kid, we used to get beat up for playing Dungeons and Dragons, or at least get in fights for it, And today, everybody's playing Dungeons and Dragons. But what are the jocks playing? They're all playing fantasy football, which is Dungeons and Dragons. It's basically the same thing. You got your character, which is your team. You got your stats. You got.
Yeah, if your guy has a good game, he rolled a 20, or he rolled. The game is just rolling the dice.
Well, when I was a kid, it was all Satanism. The parents thought that Dungeons and Dragons was like going to lead to Satanism. That's when that Tom Hanks movie Mazes and Monsters came out. There was that whole satanic craze.
Yes,
it was a hard time.
Made right over here in Lake.
I tell you what, if you make it to TotalCon, if that ever is a possibility for you, there's a guy there named Tim Kask. He was one of the original people that worked on Dungeons and Dragons. He was the editor for Dragon Magazine. He's kind of a cantankerous old guy, but he's a really cool dude. He can tell you the story behind that story, and is a pretty fascinating tale.
I would love to have him on the podcast. That would be amazing.
Well, I might be able to make an introduction. I'm seeing him in a couple of weeks, and I'll ask him if he's interested.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
I had a friend back when the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon was on some Saturday mornings. His mom wouldn't let him watch it because she thought that it was going to like entice him into Satanism.
My family, when I went away to the army, when I joined up, they burned. Well, my father, not my mother, burned all of my Dungeons and Dragon books because he thought it was a bad influence on me.
Ouch. Yeah, my parents.
Yeah. While he's listening to a Kiss album or something, that's also a problem.
Yeah. Well, come on. I grew up listening to things like Kiss and Metallica and stuff like that. I was listening to Ministry all through high school. And yes, that music can have negative influences on you if you take it to heart and you try to live out what the music's about. But it's entertainment. It's no different than watching murderers on TV every day on these crime shows.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Elvis Presley sang about men loving men, for lack of a better term, in Jailhouse. If you listen to the lyrics of Jailhouse Rock, he tells how one prisoner says to another prisoner, "You're the cutest jailbird I ever did see."
Right.
Yeah. Not a lot of girls in prison at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Elvis got into a bunch of problems in his own right. But,
well, I think that's one of the problems with entertainment in general. When you start to become famous or you start to get rich, then you start to have power. And as you start having power, most people begin to exercise it in an unhealthy manner. And some people are able to come back and ground themselves, and some are not.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I grew up listening to Alice Cooper and Kiss. Those were my biggest influences, mostly because my older sister listened to Alice Cooper and Kiss. So through osmosis, I kind of grew into it.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
We had this guy in my neighborhood, George Fisher, and I used to hang out with him. And he's the guy who introduced me to like heavy metal music. And we'd go up and sit in his bedroom and just listen to album after album of all these different heavy metal bands. And years later, he's now the lead singer of Cannibal Corpse.
Really?
So his craze, I mean, he was crazy about music. It led him to a career, which is awesome. I mean, anybody that can follow their passion and live the love of their life, that is truly being blessed.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, Steve, you're a metal fan and everything. How did you get into a fashion designer?
Well, I was at a game convention, and I'm selling T-shirts and handing out paraphernalia for people to know who my company is and who I am. But I started looking around, and everybody was doing T-shirts. Everybody was doing hats. Everybody was doing buttons, you know? And I was like, man, how can I differentiate myself? And this girl walked past me, and I saw she had a button on her shoe. And I'm watching her walk by, and I'm looking at the button on her shoe, and it was this guy named Merle Rasmussen, who is he's a game designer. It was a picture of his face on this girl's shoe. And I was like, man, that is brilliant. I ought to design shoes. Nobody's doing shoes. So I did research, and I found a company that does shoe design and helps you create your own custom line. And I started to create my own custom line. And it was purely a marketing thing. I wanted a way to differentiate myself when I'm at these conventions. What's really nice is now, because I'm doing the shoes, I go to a convention. If I'm traveling with a group of people, if I have pairs of shoes that can fit them, they can wear my shoes. I can wear my shoes. We're all marketing, but we also look good. We don't look like buffoons walking around just in a T-shirt, you know. We got some awesome Italian leather shoes that we're walking around in, and people stop. You know, people notice shoes. It amazes me how many people notice shoes.
Yeah, especially artists. I found that out. If there's no price tag on whatever you're buying, they look at your shoes to what they're charging.
Yep. That's it. And what's really nice, the company that makes the shoes for me, they hand make every pair when you order them. They're made with Italian leather. They are very unique designs, and the shoes are comfortable. I mean, the pair that I wear every day, I've been wearing for 3 years.
No way.
Yeah, and I wear
just
them
saying I need to go get
day.
new shoes. I got to go on this website here.
They average around $200 a pair, so they're not cheap.
Yeah, they're not cheap, but that's not too bad either.
No.
For shoes like that, yeah.
They also come with a money back guarantee. When they arrive, if they don't feel comfortable, you don't like the way they look, pack them back up, send them back, you get your money back.
Okay. I'm on Nerd Rage News, but you changed the name of that soon. Is that gonna
Furious Nerd Productions?
Yes. Is that where I should
now if you want to see the shoes, go to stevewollett.com.
Okay.
I got too many websites.
Yeah, we're gonna check these babies out.
Yeah, when I go to TotalCon in a few weeks, Michelle Brown Houston will be wearing a pair of red pumps. I guess they're called pumps, like 4-inch heels that I designed. And the way the design is, they have combat boot soles. So they're really comfortable like a pair of combat boots, but it's a pair of high heels.
Whoa.
Yeah, let's take a look.
There you go. Check it out.
Very nice. Velcro. Very, very handy.
Now, Michelle had a pair of them, and she brought them up here, and my dog ate them.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Well, if your dog's still around, I just saw your dog, so it's safe for pets to eat. Market it that way.
Yes, it is safe for pets to eat.
It's a $200 chew toy if you want. He don't care why you buy the shoes. Just buy the shoes. Dogs love them.
So that pair, Nerd Living, is the pair I wear every day.
Very nice. Yeah, slip-ons.
Yep. And it's that's a comfortable slip-on.
Got a lot of pop-ups here, Steve.
Yeah, they're telling you about the shoe, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's right. I've never known somebody that developed shoes or designed shoes. Very cool. Very cool. Oh, I like
the
these.
Nerd Simplicity is the pair that Michelle will be wearing.
Sir.
This is probably my favorite pair of shoes that I designed.
Molly needs that shoe. That's Valentine's Day coming up. That shoe will get you horny just looking at it. Ooh, that's a nice one too.
You like that for Molly?
Yeah. Anything
and that's
to cover
the pair
her
that
feet.
has combat boot sole, so it's a really firm walking surface for the lady or a man, whoever wants to wear them.
Can you kick a field goal with that shoe, Steve?
I think you could.
I think you could, yeah.
I know you can kick ass while wearing them.
Yeah. The Nerd Dreamer.
Nerd Professional.
Check out the Nerd Professional for me. I may have to get a job.
Now
here soon.
these dress shoes are awesome. You like a good pair of dress shoes?
Yeah. Wow.
They have the ox blood mixed with black. Really nice look.
When you design a shoe, do you have to design the bottom footprint?
So the gentleman who does the shoes for me, he's been making shoes for ever. I mean, for more than 20 years. What he does is he designs a base model, and then I take that base model and I tweak it out and make it look nice.
Okay. So somebody come, like, I'm picturing, what's that show? Dun, 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 Law and Order. This person was wearing a Steve Wollett. I can tell by the footprint here. Now you got to go testify.
That would be horrifying, but yes, that would be very possible because most of my shoes have a very distinct foot pattern.
Yep. I noticed Steve Wollett anywhere.
Yeah, I also I don't know if you saw, I also do books. I've written 12 books. You know, I do a little bit of everything. I get bored easily, so I'm always
a book,
going down different paths.
That'll cure you. What did you write your books on?
A little bit of everything. I did 2 books that were political parodies. One was about Hillary Clinton, another one about Donald Trump, making fun of both of them. I've done a book on herbs because I owned an herb shop for many years with my wife, and she helped me put that together.
Yeah, are we talking herbs with an S or just one herb?
I'm talking herbs with an S. It's the 50 herbs that we recommend it most often in the store for medicinal.
I was thinking,
not marijuana, not that one. No, for that
herb.
One.
That's the only one I want, Steve. Is it in the store or not?
I'm all for marijuana, but I don't think I'm an expert on the subject.
It's a weed. It's not hard to grow.
I wrote a book called Steve Wollett's Manual of Manliness. It's a guidebook for young men that don't have a father. So many people are living in broken households these days, and I kept watching customers come in with young men that were unruly and didn't know how to act. So I wrote the book for those young men to help them, and it teaches everything from how to pick out clothing if you're buying your own clothes, how to shave, how to drink alcohol if you're going to drink alcohol, how to get a job, how to win an argument, everything that a young man might need to know. And the rest of my books are novels, and they're about just about everything. My latest one is called God's Assassin, which is about a priest that's an assassin for the Pope.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's pretty deep.
That
Says
sounds
you
awesome.
You also designed a video game. I'm a huge gamer, so tell me a little bit about that.
So the video game was a side scroller. It's not available anymore. Google and Apple changed their policies, and I just never updated the game to match their current policies. But it was kind of like Mario Brothers. You played kids that were cutting skull, and it's a side scroller, so you're jumping over things as the game moves along, and you have nuns and priests running after you with rollers and paddles trying to beat you and make you go back to class.
That reminds me, me and my friend Terry, we used to skip school in grade school once in a while. But what we would do is,
and you were chased by teachers and nuns with rulers?
We would hide in, like, his dad had like 20 old cars. So we'd get blankets and just go in there and wait for the end of the day and act. And we were so bored. Nothing. We just hid. And we're like, why didn't we just go to school? Now we... So
you sound like me when I was in high school. I used to cut school to go to the library.
Yeah.
It's like, why am I cutting school to go to the library? But school was so boring. It was like they weren't teaching me anything. I was bored out of my mind. I'd go to the library and read a book or play Dungeons and Dragons. That's probably why my father was against it.
Oh, yeah. Skipping school. He's got to know where you're at.
I skipped school just to play video games.
Yeah. Yeah, we came up with the 5-minute rule. The bus never came. I don't know what to tell you. I'm staying home.
I didn't hide in an abandoned car.
That was so dumb, and it was so cold. We did it in the winter.
Yeah.
Wisconsin winter.
Yeah, well, if we took all the energy that we spent to avoid work, doing work, we would get some amazing things done.
I know.
Yeah. That's what I realized. Yeah. Okay. So check this out. In 2002, I got cancer, right? And I thought I was going to die. And somehow I survived it. You know, I got lucky. I don't know why I'm still here, but I am. But out of that, I realized something. All these years that I'd been fucking around, excuse my language, but just living with no purpose, it was meaningless. You know what I mean? And it was going through that experience made me realize that, hey, maybe I ought to put a little bit of effort into doing something. And it was
into this life,
not like an immediate stop this dog. It wasn't like an immediate change in my life. It took some time. But over the course of the years, I eventually got to the point where I'm working and have a really tight schedule, and that schedule keeps me focused. So I do about an hour to 2 hours a day on my projects. And by doing that, just at one point in my life, I wrote 6 books in 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah. It's just doing it. You know, the biggest reason why people fail is they don't try. They don't even get up and go do something, you know, get up, go out and do something. The worst that's going to happen is you're going to fail, right?
And that ain't that bad.
Well, if you do fail, you can get up and do it again. Learn from it.
We have a comment, but I have no idea what it says. If anybody can read that. We are not from Saudi Arabia. We are in the United States. Apparently, Steve, you look like you're in Saudi Arabia. Must be. It's the beard. It's the beard.
It's definitely.
So I wanted to talk about a story. Roland Emmerich is the latest director that came out to condemn comic book movies and Star Wars. Apparently, it's ruining our industry a little bit. He says because they are stifling the creativity and the originality of films. This is Roland Emmerich saying that, who has recently directed Moonfall, which was a colossal failure in the box office. Colossal failure. 2012, The Day After Tomorrow.
You tell Roland that if the moon falls, you call Superman and tell him to put it back.
Yeah, basically disaster movies. And for him, for me personally, for him to call out comic book movies for lack of originality, it's the pot calling the kettle black, because all he's made are he makes the same movie every time. And he hasn't really had a successful film. Well, at least in
hang on a sec.
No problem, man.
Sorry about that.
No, I'm concerned. Is everything okay?
The dog got a bone.
Oh. I act the same way.
Yeah, well, look, it's one of the problems with Hollywood right now is Hollywood is rehashing things over and over and over again and not giving us a lot of originality. It's the independent films is where you want to go to if you want to find originality in films these days. I don't think it's comic book movies or anything like that that's destroying the industry. If anything, they're expanding the industry because they're bringing more people into the nerd culture. Think about it. 30 years ago, nerds got their butt kicked all the time. Today, everyone's a nerd. And we need to embrace that. That's a good thing.
Yeah, they found out how cool Dungeons and Dragons was.
That's a great point. I've said for the longest time that it's independent films that are really keeping Hollywood original. And if you want to blame studios for comic book movies or the lack of originality, that's not really fair. You need to blame the audience, because the audience is buying tickets to those movies in droves. You know, you've got original films that came out last year, like The Green Knight and The Last Duel. What else? Even Nightmare Alley. All box office failures. Nobody went to see them. Even Nightmare Alley, which was an amazing film, nobody saw. Nobody went to see it. The 4 out of the top 6 movies were Marvel films, and the 5th one was Venom. So they're all comic book movies. People are going to see comic book movies. Comic book movies really saved a lot of theaters. I know that sounds like hyperbole, but it's real. It's true. You know, people were buying tickets to those, so that's what people want to see. So
yes. They're also the movies saved the comic book industry. I mean, the comic book industry was dying, and the Marvel movies brought an interest back into comic books. And by bringing that interest back means that people are starting to read. You
It's
know,
almost like they
we have such a problem
rekindled
with
it.
illiteracy in this country, and comic books are a great opening. They're a gateway to reading. They're awesome.
Right. Exactly. I agree 100%. That comic books were some of the first things that I ever read as a kid. You know, I was growing up. I wasn't reading novels or books. I was reading Archie. I was reading Casper. I was reading comic books.
And then you know, we were talking about the games earlier. Games they teach critical thinking. They teach people to think outside the box. They teach strategy. They teach you the ability to visualize and things like that. When you combine the combination of comic books and games together, you create smarter people. You know, these tablets and stuff, they're making us dumb. When you go back to the basics, back to the gaming, tabletop gaming, and back to the basics of things like reading comic books and stuff like that, you increase creativity, you increase everyone's ability to think, you know. And if you increase critical thinking, then you're able to have better debates, you're better to argue, you're better to see how to get around problems.
Yeah, there's something about learning a new game that really exercises the mind. It can be any new game, but when you get that rule book and you're like, okay, it's just me and the rule book and you guys listening, we have to figure out how to play this thing that we've never seen before. It's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm more of a video game player than I am a board game player. I've been a hardcore gamer for 40 years now.
I play a lot of video games too. You know, I'm first person shooter guy. I'm playing Ghost Recon and Rainbow Six and Call of Duty all the time.
Yeah, I play everything except for sports games. I just don't like sports games.
But yeah, I'm not into them either.
Everything else, fair game.
I like my survival horror.
Right, you do. Yeah. Did you you got Diablo 2 remastered, didn't you?
Yep.
I like Diablo. That's a fun game.
No, it expired or something. They took it down.
It expired?
Yeah, I can't play it anymore. I don't know.
You update it? Oh. If you bought it, you can play it.
Okay, I'll check.
That's weird. Yeah, you might just need to update it.
Okay.
Give it a shot. I wanted to play with you. Okay. I love Diablo. I can't wait for Diablo 4. I can't even wait for the mobile game.
They're coming out with a mobile Diablo?
They are, yeah. Actually, when they announced it, they didn't announce Diablo 4 yet. They just announced Diablo, I think it's called Inferno or something. It's a mobile game. Oh, you should have seen the fans. They were mad. They one guy actually, they did a Q&A at some Comic-Con, and one guy got up and said, is this like a bad timing for an April Fool's joke? Fans were not happy about that. I don't know why. I mean, mobile games are games too, but
I don't know. Honestly, fans are probably the most toxic group out there for any group of fans. I mean, you go to any forum for any game or any franchise, whether it's comic book franchise or Star Wars or Star Trek, and read through those forums. The fans are so toxic. It just amazes me.
It's short for fanatic. Yeah, that's what they are.
Yeah, well, you know, the thing that I say is nobody hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans hate Star Wars.
That absolutely. You're dead on.
Yeah. You know, same thing with like DC with like the Snyder Cut, and I'm a huge fan of Zack Snyder. I love what he did with DC. I love Man of Steel. I love Batman vs Superman. I love his Justice League. I hate Joss Whedon's Justice League, but Zack Snyder's
I'm with you there.
It was awesome. I loved it. And man, it's hard being a Zack Snyder fan online because he's got some really toxic anti-fans.
Yeah. I wasn't a fan of Snyder's Superman. Superman for me was always, you know, Christopher Reeves. I want the happy-go-lucky Superman. That Superman seemed like an alien. I mean, well, he is an alien, but I mean, he seemed like one, you know? And that for me was a little bit of a turnoff. It was still enjoyable. The character just did not match my expectations.
Yeah, it was divisive. I think one of the main reasons that I liked it was I'm not a huge Superman fan. I wasn't a big fan of the Christopher Reeve movies. I like them, don't get me wrong, but I'm not like a die by the sword kind of Superman fan. So I'm more of a casual Superman fan.
Okay, fair enough.
So yeah, that's probably why I liked it. And I love Michael Shannon as Zod. I thought he was awesome in that.
Yes, he was. That was an awesome character. And Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot.
Yeah,
she nailed it.
Yeah, she did. She really did. And I like her standalone movies. I even liked Wonder Woman 84, which is another film that the toxic fans tore apart.
Yeah, there are things I liked about it and things I hated about it. It's if you go into it looking at it as a rom-com, it's a really good movie. If you go into it as a superhero movie,
It's hard not to go into Wonder Woman and not think superhero movie.
Right.
But yeah, I'll take that advice. That'll be a good Valentine's Day for me and Molly. We'll watch Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah, it was good. My wife won't watch any comic movies. She's not a fan of comic movies, but she did like Spider-Man No Way Home.
I enjoyed that immensely.
Yeah,
I saw that opening day in the theater.
Yeah, same with me. Spider-Man is, it's toss up between Spider-Man and Batman as my favorite all-time comic book character. And I thought No Way Home it was fan service done right. I mean, they nailed it. I don't think that movie could have been any better. It was
my favorite comic book character would be Magic from the New Mutants.
Okay.
I don't know. I assume you saw the movie if you haven't read the comic, but I grew up on that comic. I have every issue of it sitting here in the house. It's definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, I collected Howard the Duck religiously as a kid. I had to go to every used bookstore and find every back issue that I could find.
I read Howard the Duck. I read Rocket Raccoon. Yeah.
I loved the Howard the Duck movie. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, they make fun of that movie now. I used to love it as a kid too.
Yeah.
It's not a terrible movie. It just is. It's Howard the Duck. Come on.
Yeah, that's
yeah, you cannot take that movie seriously when you watch it. It's
right.
It's not meant to be a serious comic book movie. Howard's
we used to have one night a week, like a double feature of watching campy films. And I remember watching Howard the Duck and Buckaroo Banzai together.
Yeah.
That was like an awesome night. It was just laughing all night long.
That's an awesome double feature. Yeah, I used to do something like that back in my VHS days when I was a teenager growing up, and I'd watch like Krull and Megaforce. I'd watch those back to back.
I
just watched Krull and Beastmaster a week ago.
Oh, they're just awesome movies. Krull is an amazing movie. I'd watch like Ghostbusters and Gremlins, and I watch all the Back to the Future movies. But now I got kids and a wife and responsibilities, so I'm lucky if I can watch an episode of anything once a week.
Oh my God, this guy who's like, did you see Boba Fett? And it's like 3 a.m. because it got released at midnight.
Well, yeah, this last one I did stay. See, I have to stay up because that's the only time I can watch anything is when everybody's asleep. It's the only time I can watch anything or play anything. So
wake up for work at 6 in the message. His Facebook is like, no spoilers, everybody, no spoilers. The show was good. Don't.
See, what I do is I have a television next to my computer, so I'll turn stuff on and it'll be playing while I'm working. So I'm not totally into the show, but I'm able to keep up with whatever it is I'm watching.
Yeah. But I did binge watch like 5 episodes of Pam and Tommy yesterday.
Okay.
I couldn't stop watching it.
For me, I've been watching what is it? Peacemaker?
Peacemaker,
yeah.
We got a new one as soon as the show's over.
I already saw it.
Yeah.
I know you already
I
saw
stayed
it.
up late last night to watch it.
And then the other one that I think is really enjoyable. I've read all the books, the Lee Child's books about Jack Reacher, and the new Reacher series is phenomenal.
That's what I've heard. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm also watching Raised by Wolves.
Okay,
great.
You guys check out Wheel of Time at all?
I did. I'm kind of I really enjoyed the books, but the series
you read all
has
them
not
books?
fulfilled my expectations.
You read all them books?
Yeah.
Oh my God, my girlfriend has them. I have to move them whenever we move.
You need to read them.
She got me the first one.
The first 5 books are awesome. After that, I didn't enjoy them as much.
The next 11?
Is it 11? 10? 10 or 11, something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, my girlfriend's big into that, so that's her nerding
Yeah.
out.
I know.
When I was younger, I used to read a book a day pretty consistently. I
Can't read that.
really am a fast reader, and I like reading. I really enjoy it. These days, I don't read as much, but what I do is I set aside time every day to take a lecture. So every day I do like a 90-minute or a 2-hour lecture about some subject to just try and expand my knowledge. I think it's a great resource. And then when you have an argument with somebody, you're able to actually argue intelligently.
Yeah. There's a severe lack of that going around.
Yes, there is.
These days. Yeah. I like audiobooks too. I listen to audiobooks whenever I have
I do that when I'm driving.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have an Audibles account. I have
yeah.
a ton of books on my phone. I just put them in the Bluetooth and go down the road.
Yeah, I just got the Before the Batman, the prequel to the upcoming The Batman film. So
Okay.
That's a short, it's like a 2-hour audiobook.
You guys are all learning stuff when you're driving, and I'm yelling at the AM sports guy about how he's wrong on a trade with them. They need to keep that sub. What are you doing? Yeah.
Well,
Maybe I should switch it up.
You know what? One of the problems we have here in the United States is that we get caught in our own echo chambers where we just listen to stuff that reinforces our beliefs. You know, what I find is when you step outside of it into areas that are a little more uncomfortable for your thought process, that's where you start to be able to see other people's points of view and you start understanding people better. What really taught me to do that was growing up, because my family, we would get together for dinner and everybody would scream at each other at the top of their lungs, arguing about stuff. And I never knew what anybody believed in anything, because one day my dad was arguing point A, the next day he was arguing point B, and point A was wrong. And it would go back and forth all the time. And it was really nice. I hated it growing up, but looking back on it, it really helped me to look outside of my own bubble.
That's good advice.
Yeah. That's
Really
one of the things I advise if you ever get the chance. Travel to another country. I don't care what the country is. Go to another country, preferably one that doesn't speak English, and just go experience other cultures. You will be amazed how much your perspective of home changes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we do a lot of shows with people over in Ghana, Africa.
Okay.
And it's big culture difference.
Yeah, a good friend of mine lived in Ghana. His wife worked for UNICEF, and they were stationed there. Yeah. I was in Ukraine. What was that? July of 2020, and that was an experience. And then we have all the Ukraine stuff in the news, and I was there firsthand. I was able to see in Luhansk and Donetsk and places like that where all the conflict was going on back then. I have a much better understanding of it than versus what the media is telling us.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've got a friend that's doing a documentary series on religion from different parts of the world, and I might go with him this summer to Africa. He's going to go to Nigeria, I think Uganda, a bunch of different countries in Africa. I'm hoping that I can go with him.
I hope you can too. That would be a great experience.
Yeah, I've never been out of the country, so.
Yeah.
You sure? You better get some SPF 9000 there with your cheap sun skin.
I'll be lathered up.
Get your vaccinations.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Brent says Wollett Steve is a genius.
Brent is an awesome dude. He's one of the actors in our film. He plays a guy named Carl who is on a respirator because he's having difficulty with emphysema. And as an actor, man, Brent is phenomenal. You will really enjoy his character in the film.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. You'll have to if you can send me a link.
Yeah,
submit it to the
I can hook you up with a screener. All I ask, give me a review.
Oh, I can definitely do that. If you submit it to the Twisted Dreams Film Festival, both Tom and I can watch it.
Okay.
I'm going to send you a waiver code. I'll do that later tonight.
Okay, I appreciate that. Most definitely.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool genre festival. We got Lloyd Kaufman coming.
Nice.
A couple of guests possibly coming.
Okay.
Not Kane Hodder. He wanted $15,000. It's a little bit out of our budget, but we tried.
Yeah,
we tried. All right. Well, I
Yeah.
guess on that note, we better wrap things up. You can find Steve, www.stevewollett.com, scrolling on the bottom there. And I will also put that in the link for you if you want to click on that. And no firm release date for Jack B. Nimble?
We're looking probably late spring, early summer, if everything goes right. And if you want to learn more about Jack B. Nimble itself, it's furiousnerdproductions.com.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you, Steve.
Yeah, nice meeting both of you, and thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I hope I was entertaining for you.
Oh, you definitely were.
Very much. I can now say that I've had a discussion with an Archduke.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
You don't know how much that means to me. All right, join us next week. David Black will be back, and we're going to talk about all kinds of weird things like Satanism. That should be fun. Satanism. It's always fun.